Hi everyone, this is Brian here. I'm awake. Are you? And if you're awake, you know the rapture, the pre-tribulation rapture, is about to start, or happen at any moment. All the signs point to that. And so today we're going to get right into something that's very close to me personally. The church that I go to is called Church on the Beach in Redondo Beach, California. And the county here, LA County, has decided to pass an ordinance, not by the voters, but by themselves, to restrict religious freedom on the beach. And that happened in October of last year of 2024. The leadership, the elders have been dealing with this since then, and they were going to shut us down around Christmas or even before, but we've got an extension from the county to go to June of 2025, just a few months from now. After June, unless something happens, we will no longer be able to meet on the beach as a church. So this church has been around since 2007. It started with Kings Harbor Church, the mother church, they would call it, had an outreach on the beach. It started in 2007. Then COVID came, the beach church shut down, like many things shut down. It started back up about 3 to 4 years ago, maybe over 3 years ago. And it's been thriving, it's been growing. It's up to about 120 adults around there, with not counting children. And now the county has stepped in, and after 18 years of issuing us a permit, they want to now shut all religious services down on this beach for a reason that we're really not sure of, to tell you the truth, 100%. But we're going to find out soon, because we've got others involved to help us now. And why are they doing this? I don't know. This church has been there for 18 years, and we became our own church last summer. We broke away from Kings Harbor with their blessing. They have helped us along the way. They have been there for us. They have been, the leadership at Kings Harbor Church has been awesome and very gracious and kind to us. And they're good brothers and sisters there. We love them a lot. They're good people. And they have been with us through this ordeal. But when we became our own church last summer, a few months after that happened, in October, we get the notice from LA County, we're no longer allowed to have services there for this new ordinance they passed to protect the beach environment and to be a DEI compliant, whatever that stuff means. I don't even know what it means anymore. I don't care. You know why? Because we have the freedom in this country, in the U.S., to be able to go to a beach or a park and worship our God freely. The First Amendment, the freedom of assembly in the U.S. And a lot of countries have freedom to do that. Not as many as there used to be. We know that. Freedoms are being taken from us all around this world because we're living in the last days. And they're trying to squash the gospel. They're trying to squash the religious freedoms of people to be able to freely worship their God the way they want to. And so we've been doing this on this beach for 18 years, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, the county decides, nope, we can't do it anymore. Now, you can do it. They have special exemptions. You can do it 6 times a year, but you'll have to pay for some of it. And you can only allowed to meet 6 times a year. Well, that doesn't work great when you're meeting every Sunday. And so we've got the church on the beach got some help, and finally things are starting to move. And the reason this video is being made is the county, because of a letter sent by ACLJ, which is Jay Sekulo's ministry, is defending us, and sent them a letter on the 6th of March, and now they're going to have a meeting on the 19th, because by the 20th they have to respond to this letter. So here's the article from Jay Sekulo's website. ACLJ is the website. California County targets churches' rights to public beach. ACLJ fights back against religious discrimination. The ACLJ has taken action in California to defend the constitutional rights of a church after the Los Angeles County implemented a new policy that singles out religious groups for treatment in the rules about the use of the public beaches. For 18 years, Church on the Beach has been faithfully serving in the community by holding worship services on the Redondo Beach with proper permits from Los Angeles County. Approximately 120 gather every Sunday morning to worship in God's creation, with many attendees specifically choosing this setting because they have a difficult or negative experience in traditional church buildings. The beach location isn't merely a preference, it's a crucial component of their ministry outreach to those who might never step foot in a conventional church. And I'll get into that in a minute because I'm there every Sunday. I'll tell you firsthand what's going on. The church members have been model citizens, carefully ensuring their gatherings don't obstruct pathways, block traffic, or impede emergency vehicles. They've even voluntarily relocated during large community events to avoid any potential disruptions. We just did this 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was Super Bowl Sunday, actually. They were having a 5K in that area of the beach, in Redondo Beach. So we stopped. We didn't have our service. We've been doing this for years. I've done it for 3 years. Others have done it many years. All of us that were in the church, a lot of us volunteered to help the 5K. That day, I handed out water, set up tables, and did all these things. And we had several stations through this 5K area that we had, I'm guessing, at least 40 of us ministering to the city of Redondo Beach. And then afterwards, because we usually meet at 9 o'clock in the morning, this ended around 11. They met in a building after that and still had church that day in another building. We weren't asked to do that. We just did that to help out the community with parking and to be able to minister to them. Been doing this for years. So we have a good relationship with the people that take care of the beach, the maintenance crews. We see them all the time. We talk to them. We know them by name. We've never had an issue ever. And we actually give out and back to the community and cater to them when they have events. We move our service maybe further north on the beach to get away from maybe a surfing event that's taking place and they need room. We just do that. So the beach, the county, I'm just going to stop right there. Let me just read this article. In late October, Los Angeles County abruptly changed its policy, informing the church pastor that the Department of Beaches and Harbors would no longer issue yearly permits for religious activities. Instead, the county implemented a new policy limiting grandfathered religious groups to 6 activities per year with the following restrictive stipulations. 1, only 2 religious activities would be allowed with waived permit fees of $250. The remaining 4 religious activities would require fees and be restricted to only specific locations: Dockweiler Beach, Mother's Beach, Will Rogers Beach. They're miles from us, miles and miles from us, and they don't work. They just don't work. I mean, it'd be like having a church in wherever your city is. Let's just say, I'll use LA. You're in North LA and you've been ministering there for 18 years in this community. You've built a relationship. All these people are in the community. Now they want you to go to the South Bay, 20 miles away or further, in a completely different area, find a whole new building and completely start over. This is the article, the key fact, none of these rules apply to non-religious groups. I'll read that one more time. None of these rules apply to non-religious groups. Even more concerning, a county official told the pastor that the churches don't need the beach because they can meet in a building. How about the First Amendment? We can meet wherever we want and worship our God no matter how we want. A statement that demonstrates the fundamental misunderstanding of both religious freedom and the specific ministry of the church on the beach. The county has thankfully issued a temporary permit, which they did, which was nice. It was the least they could do. So the church can continue to meet for a few months, but once that extension ends, the church is essentially be shut down because the policy changed. There's no alternative location for the church on the beach. Let's see here. On March 6th, the ACLJ, which is Jay Sekulo's his firm, sent a detailed demand letter to Los Angeles County outlining a constitutional violation and demanding that the county immediately cease its discriminatory treatment of the church on the beach. Our letter made it clear that the county's actions violate well-established First Amendment principles, as articulated by the Supreme Court in cases like Windermere versus Vincent in Lamb's Chapel. We've given the county until March 20th, 2025 to provide assurance that this discriminatory policy will end up at the churches will be free to use the beach under the same general applicable rules as non-religious gatherings. So that's why they're having a meeting on the 19th. This video is to call all believers who watch this channel and other channels who may watch this channel to pray for what happens on the 19th, because what affects churches in LA County on the beach will affect churches all through the nation. I believe that God's going to intervene on this, and he's going to give us the victory, no doubt. They're not coming against church on the beach. They're coming against every born-again believer who wants to worship the Lord, or every religious institution who wants to use a public place. So this, they're not messing with, you know who they're messing with? They're messing with God. They're messing with the Father. That's who they're messing with. They're messing with God. And I know that we're going to have victory in this. I have a piece about this. I thought I would get this out to my channel here. There's thousands of us on this channel, and there's thousands more on other channels. This isn't just about Church on the Beach. This is about every church in the U.S. and around the world. So the enemy is attacking this church because this church is in public. God is using this church. Homeless people are coming off the concrete strand or sidewalk that runs adjacent to the sand. They're coming off. I've seen this myself. This elderly man, I'm older than he is probably, in his late 50s, early 60s, comes off the beach, homeless, on a bike, parks his bike, just sits there, starts crying during worship, starts crying during the word. At the end of the service, he's being baptized. He rededicated his life to the Lord because he had walked away from the Lord years and years earlier. He was still saved, but he rededicated his life and got baptized on the ocean right there. People are walking off and just walking by because it's on a main strand. It's like you see on TV on these movies. These people are skateboarding, riding bikes by, and they see us, and worship is being heard, and preaching is being heard. And they're stopping and listening and walking onto the sand, and they're walking from concrete, being bound by the devil, walking onto the sand and leaving, being freed by the Lord to live in heaven forever with us. That's what's happening. A little over a year ago, some college kids came to visit from a local college. There was 2 or 3 of them. A few months later, I don't remember the exact time frame in between, but a month, 2, 3 months later, 7 or 8 come, and 10 come. 2 or 3 weeks ago, 25 showed up. We're out in public. It's like a street ministry, but it's a church. We are a church. We have child care. We have tents set up. We have prayer. If we want prayer, we can give you prayer. We have elders. We have deacons. There's a volunteer group of many of us, at least 20 that I know of. I'm part of that volunteer group. We get there at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning and prayer walk around the area of the sand where we're going to be meeting, asking God to show up, asking God to protect us and bless us with his presence. We do it every Sunday morning before service. And then we all gather together in a huge circle and pray and ask God to come down in power. And he is. That's why it's no surprise this is happening. God is using this little church. It's not just the numbers. It's not a big church. It's what's happening to people who are stepping off of that concrete onto the sand, changing their lives. Marriages are being healed. People coming back who've been backsliding, coming back to the Lord. People getting saved. People getting touched and healed. This is what's going on here. This is what should be talked about, not an ordinance to shut it down. Well, they picked the wrong fight with God, because he's not going to lose this battle. He's not. Are you going to stop God from spreading his word? Really? If a donkey can do it and the rocks can cry out, he'll get anybody and anything, no matter what you do. And when you come against the church, in church history, whenever there's been persecution or against the church is like multiplied many times over. It came to the early church in Jerusalem, and they kept the gospel in Jerusalem, and then persecution came, and now look where we're at. It's all over the world. So you can't stop the Holy Spirit. You can't stop this. So I ask you for your prayers for this church today. Church on the Beach in Redondo Beach. You can look this stuff up. There's a video on YouTube about it. On DuckDuckGo and Google search, there's articles of other news outlets, and it's starting to get out there. It's starting to get out there. So we'll see what happens. Pray that this just goes away on Thursday, because this is ridiculous. So I love you guys. Tomorrow I'll be back with more articles and more things, but this is just a sign the Lord's about to come back. Satan is really upset that believers are actually worshiping God in public. That God is saving Muslims in Iran, a million of them. 50,000 mosques have shut down. God is on the move. Yeah, we see all this stuff going on, all this darkness, all this bad news. But behind the scenes, God's using all this bad news for his greatness and his kingdom. And he is saving people and setting them free as I speak. And he's not going to stop until the last one is saved. And when the last one's saved, the next thing we're going to hear is a trumpet. And that trumpet is about to blow. I love you guys. I love you a lot. And I appreciate every single one of you on here. You have no idea in these last days how much of a blessing you are to me. To know that I can talk to you and you get me. You get me about the pre-tribulation rapture, because we're almost home. So spread the word. We need prayer that the County of LA will just drop this whole thing on the 19th. And if they don't, that's on them, because I know how this is going to come out. And we're going to continue to worship on this beach until he comes, and worship wherever we are on this planet, because we are the children of light. Darkness cannot comprehend us. They don't get us. But you know what? We know who each other are, and we are going to hold each other up in prayer. So guys, if I don't see you before, I will definitely see you in the clouds. This is your brother Ryan out. Bye-bye.